I want to show you what pulses are essential for our pantry. Remember, we're going to get our pantry ready so that we've got all the essential ingredients there on the ready so that we can not have to, shop around for ingredients. These are the essential items of food in the vegetarian larder, Gujarati vegetarian larder. So I'm going to run through them all individually in a moment, but I also wanted to say that I store them very conveniently in these sorts of large 6 liter and 4.5 liter bags that you can get from IKEA. And what you can do neatly is to write here the name of the pulse and also the date, the expiry date, in a ink pen, and then you can store these up in a box or in a drawer. I put them in a drawer, so that's how I store them. And that means that you've got it nicely labeled for the names as well as the date of when you need to, rotate the pulse. Now the main pulses are here, and look how beautiful the colors are. And the colors also indicate what nutrients you're taking into the body. But I'm going to get into the kind of the rotation of the pulses in the diet based on a weekly moon cycle, which also comes from the rich Vedic tradition of making sure you get the right amino acids into your body. Now, the thing with vegetarians is that they do not have certain certain proteins in their body, in their food intake. What they do have is amino acids, which are the building blocks for protein. So you've got to you must rotate your pulses so that you're getting the right amino acids in your body, so that your body and your liver can manufacture the long strings of protein with the help of the amino acids that you've ingested. So I will talk about the rotation of the pulses in your diet on a weekly moon cycle later. But here I'm talking about storage. So as I've said, I put them in a nice plastic bag or even a jar and then label them. Now the main pulses in the Gujarati cuisine is this tuver dal. Now tuver dal sometimes comes oiled. The reason why they oil the dal is that it's very easily ingested by little pesticides and so on. You can get pesticides unless you've coated it in castor oil, I believe. So the castor oil that they coat the bean with will simply just keep the pesticide away because it acts as a a deterrent. So this tuver dal is split, as you can see. It's made from a grain called tuver, and that is the main kind of dal that the Gujaratis eat. And this bean, because it's split, is not a whole food. It will not sprout, clearly. So it can only be consumed in this carbohydrate state. You don't need to soak this, by the way. It will cook immediately in a pressure cooker after wash. Here you have the green lentils, which you may be familiar with. They're also eaten in the Gujarati cuisine. Again, no need to soak them. They just cook instantly. These are the red split lentils. These again can be cooked instantly without soaking overnight. These will actually sprout, of course, because they are whole food. They are whole in its grain and its skin. And if you soak them overnight and germinate them, you can have them as a protein substitute. And I will show you how to cook with the sprouted lentil beans separately. Now this is a split bean, so cannot be sprouted, but these three that you see here are mung beans. So in nature they look like this. These can be sprouted. We've got many recipes with mung beans sprouted. But if you were to split them with their skins on, they would look like this. So these are the split mung beans. And then these are split mung beans, but with their skins removed. So there's many ways of preparing a bean, even at that level. But remember, these are the only whole ones that will sprout. Now, those are the main, if you like, items of pulses that we see regularly in a Gujarati cuisine. But I also then cook with these black chickpeas, which are whole and they can be sprouted, and they do need soaking overnight before you cook them. Or you can get the white chickpeas like this, which you can also soak overnight and cook. You then have, from the South Indian traditions, there is some kind of mixing that goes on where they eat a lot of this udad. Udad is a black bean, but this is, the bean has been split and then the skin removed. So I keep that in my pantry for many things that I need it for. Here we have red kidney beans. You'll be familiar with these. They do need a sprouting overnight. Now, one other favorite is a black-eyed peas, which look like that, and they need a 4-hour soaking time before you sprout them. I mean, sprout them or indeed cook them. This now doesn't get eaten very often, but we do eat them in sort of royal meals, sort of festive meals. It's called val, and I will show you how to cook with that, a beautiful dal that we make with that. Now, I also have a chana dal split. So this is chana, but it's then split and the skin removed. It doesn't need soaking for too long. It needs a soak for about 4 hours before you, 2 to 3 hours before you cook it. Or you could cook it instantly, but it would take longer in the pressure cooker. I also have these are borrowed from the Mediterranean tradition, fave beans, which I keep in my larder, and they get eaten in pasta sauce. I will again very good as a food for medicine. It has high levels of dopamine, so very good for Parkinson's type of disease. You know, brain related ingredients are found in this bean here. Flageolet is again borrowed from the Mediterranean tradition. I do tend to soak these overnight. They're whole, they can be sprouted, and then I eat them cooked in a salad usually. I love them in the summer salad. And that's the larder, if you like. These are the ingredients which I will store in these large bags, you know, labeled, and they will last me, you know, large, say 5 kilo bags, 5 kilo bags of these items will last me, as I said, for 2 people, 4 to 6 months. Only one other ingredient that's missing here, which I haven't shown you, is the white peas. Okay, so that they look, they're whole peas, but they are white, not green, and they get eaten in ragdo patties. So that's the only missing ingredient here. Otherwise, you've got every item that you would find in a traditional Gujarati larder. So now I'm going to show you how I store these pulses, the pantry. I've got a very large drawer, granted, it's 120 centimeter wide, but you can get this pantry into 260 centimeter wide drawers because that's the standard, width of a drawer. Now, you can see very clearly I've got my bags all laid out and labeled. I don't put my dates of rotation, the expiry date on my bags, because I do it sort of twice a year. you know, during spring Navratri and October Navratri, I will rotate all these pulses, get rid of them, and buy new ones, and then I know that everything is fresh and right. I also use this drawer for pasta, but it doesn't matter. You can see roughly what space it requires in your you know, kitchen. And remember, this is going to last you for 6 months, and you can decide whether you're going to have a protein-based meal or a carbohydrate-based meal. If you want protein, then you simply sprout the beans that can be sprouted and have a carbohydrate meal if you don't want to do so, or using beans that cannot be sprouted. But I'll talk more about that when we get onto the pulse module, when we'll be cooking with these. But enough to say, these drawers, you know, in your house, very easy to organize and nicely organized, and will keep you for 6 months for 2 people.